increased property taxes, not from the existing, but only from the increase. And in exchange, the covenant has to be given to the town, and that's a recorded deed. These are some of the communities that have adopted. I think there's been a few more. It was used extensively in Concord areas, you'll see in just a minute. And Newmarket was one that property was valued at $1 million. They came in, they asked for a deferment under 79E. The town council gave it to them, and 2 years later, when they finished, that building was then worth $3.5 million. So $3.5 million went on the tax roll, not the $1 million that was already there. In Burn was adopted in 2009. This is called Stats. Replacement of the restaurant that was underutilized, and it ended up being replaced by the building you see here because of the incentive for the owner. Next one. This shows you the downtown area in Concord, and this was a major part of the master plan, and that's why you have to designate a specific zone. And in this particular piece, in this one article, we're asking the designation to be the village commercial. We'll see that for Sunapee just there. This was the zone that was approved for Concord. So anything in that zone, any building in that zone, would pass the first of 3 tests. Is it in the right district? Second one, does it have a public benefit? And I think the third one already, substantial improvement. Substantial improvement, thank you. Next one. This is what happened in Concord. You had a 2-level office building housing labor ready. Assessed value was $1.24 million. The city council in Concord granted the tax deferment, and when they were done, they had $27 million worth of taxable property. More importantly, or as important in my mind, for the taxable benefit to the community, is the activity in the building themselves. It creates a downtown area here in Concord that was underutilized. It created more taxation and created more activity. This one is really hard to read, but the primary purpose here is a little bit of reassurance. The governing body may deny the application in its discretion, and the Board of Selectmen cannot be overruled. It specifically says, such denial shall be deemed discretionary and shall not be set aside by the Board of Tax and Land Appeals or the Superior Court, except for bad faith or discrimination. So it maintains an important part, in my mind, of local control. You can apply to the Board of Selectmen, they say no, you're done. There's no appeal, no one's going to overrule them and say, well, we're going to make a deal now. You're a buddy of mine, I want to get you the approval. Can't happen without the Board of Selectmen. Next. This one, again, I'm having trouble talking about it, it's too late. It just shows the process you go through in several different areas, but basically, is it qualifying, is it in the right district, is it substantial improvement, is it public benefit? And again, determined by the criteria adopted by the Board of Selectmen. This map is tough to see, but you can see it on the town website. It shows you where the commercial zone is, and village commercial is actually the darker pink. It's basically one side of Route 11 and up into the Sunapee Harbor, and down on Lower Main Street, and out a little bit on 11. And then there's another section up in George's Mills, which is where the planning board has said, this is where we want development, this is where we want business activity, this is where we have the infrastructure to deal with that. So that's the zone that's being requested in the warrant article. I went down Sunday and I just took a couple of pictures. This building, in my mind anyway, has been improved significantly. It's sat for a long time not being improved. The owners have upgraded it, and this is the type of activity that you want to see in a community that's alive and vibrant and maybe coming back. Again, the old brush factory in Lower Main Street has been upgraded significantly, so owners have put money into these buildings. Hopefully they've provided jobs in the community. Maybe they would have done it sooner if they had the ability to defer some of their improvement costs in terms of the taxable piece of it. Maybe they'll be encouraged to do more. If you have a building in the district, there's a public benefit, more jobs, more economic activity, wherever the board decides that you can do that. Next one. The machine tool facility, the owner there, and again, none of these slides are to cast aspersions that someone's not maintaining a property or anything else. This is just to show you examples that are in this district. This owner may be encouraged to say, You know what, I've been thinking about doing an expansion for 5 years, I just haven't done it. With this part, it may tip the balance. The old Mexico building, same thing, it's hard to see in this lighting. Woodbine cottage lot, that may encourage someone to come in, but they would have to do it now with the existing building, obviously. But those are examples of what this may be able to help in terms of increase. We're going to be dealing with the Abbott Library. There's a building there that someone may come in and say, we will buy it from the town with covenants, whatever the board decides they're going to do with that building. But this would be a tool that they could use to help encourage them to develop that property, or encourage them to buy it and use it, and put it to good use. And last but not least is why we're here, is the Harbor House Deliberative. The Better Future Alliance people are approaching foundations, trusts, anybody they can find that might be interested in reusing that facility. We're trying to work with them to come back to the Board of Selectmen with a final plan for use. But part of the tools that will help them is having this type of legislation available if they pass the test with the Board of Selectmen. The reason I left this last, obviously, is because I want to make sure you understood it's not just for that building. It'll help us in terms of what we're trying to do between now and September in terms of approaching these. When we go to them and say the town of Sunapee has adopted 79E, they look at us as they did with those other towns that look forward as an idea of how to try and increase and improve what they've got on properties themselves. And how can they do it better? Is there any kind of working, or is there a warm and fuzzy feeling when you work with the town of Sunapee? Are they interested in having development come back to the town? Are they interested in improving their facilities, providing jobs, or providing more activity, more economic benefit? I think that's it.
Ellie Goddard, Brookhaven Hill. I think it's great to be able to improve our buildings, and it's very exciting. But I live on Brookhaven Hill, and in the summertime, it's quite difficult to get through the harbor. And two things. One is I would like to know what the town is planning to do with all the people in the cars, what's happening with the parking. And two, have you ever considered opening up Maple Street as a summer road for the people who live on Brookhaven Hill and Lake Avenue for emergency situations?
Yes, we have talked about Maple Street. As a matter of fact, I believe we've had a warrant article on in the past that didn't pass muster, and it's not off the table. It's one of those things that will be revisited as time goes on. As far as the potential of having some new activity there at the Harbor House livery, especially under the 79E, I believe that gives the Board of Selectmen enough leverage to say, okay, we'd like to, we like the looks of your proposal, whatever that might be, but there are some things that are going to need to be addressed as well as just the building itself, i.e. the parking, i.e. the traffic flows, different things of that nature. I believe that this RSA gives us the ultimate power and control over how this all comes off.
Yes, I just would like to clear that it's not just the Harbor House livery that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking about all the improvements and the town going forward with plans.
Yeah, it certainly would. I mean, each project that might come in and look for some kind of tax relief under this RSA would definitely have to impress the board, as well as I believe that we can set up any kind of structure that we would like to have in regards to in regards to someone asking for this. In other words, we can have a couple of different public hearings if we want to get public input upon how they feel about what the project might be, as well as concerns that they might have if the project does go forward.
You okay with that?
I was just really concerned more with parking than anything else.
Yes, and all that would be on the table.
Any other discussions or questions on this article?
Oh, yes. Any of these projects would still also have to go through all of our regular planning and zoning and site plan and all that as well.
And public hearings?
This
Yes.
particular scenario is not a method around our regular planning and zoning either.
Any further discussion? Thank you, Michael. Hearing none, all in favor of Article 34, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Article 35, otherwise known as the end. To see if the town of Sunapee will vote to accept the Class 6 portion of Caldwell Lane to the westerly most point of parcel 0145-0024-0000 as a town road. This is by petition. Is there a motion? Moved by Shane, seconded by Representative Crosby. Discussion.
This was a petitioned article that was brought into us kind of right at the tail end of the times. What it boils down to is we have a road that used to go through years and years ago. I don't happen to see any of the folks involved in it here tonight, but the road was thrown up to Class 6 at a specified point on the road. I'm not sure when that happened, a long, long time ago. And these folks have property that's beyond the end of where we maintain as a Class 5 road. Over the course of the years, they improved the road to take care of their own driveways and things of that nature, and all of that was done in accordance with our planning and zoning rules and things of that nature. And basically what happened was the turnaround spot that was designated years ago as a place for the highway department to turn around kind of got absorbed and used up into other things as far as the folks that now own that property. So it became difficult for Tony and his men to turn around there, so it's more convenient to continue to the end of the road and turn around. Scott discovered that we were taking care of a private road, which is really kind of a no-no according to the rules, so he stopped taking care of it. So what the folks that live on the extended portion of that road did was to bring this article in. It certainly, I don't know all of the particulars about whether this article was passed or not. We had a conversation with them here a little bit ago in regards to, well, during the budget hearing, I guess, in regards to this. And one of the things that we did a few years ago with all the roads around Perkins Pond, they were roads that the town had ended up taking over and maintaining for years as substandard roads. And what we have available to us that has worked out pretty well for Perkins Pond is a thing that we call an emergency lane, which allows the town to do minimal maintenance in regards to plowing and grading and things of this nature. And we hope to work with these folks in regards to the emergency lane program, which may end up being a better scenario in the end for everyone, because the road won't necessarily then be brought up to full Class 5 standards and turned into more of a public way than what it is. So, as far as whether I should tell you to vote for this or against it, I think either way, we probably will be able to work with these folks and come up with a good compromise.
Any further discussion on Article 35? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries. I want to tell you the last line of my rap. When everyone has had their say and the meeting ends, it's very important to leave this hall and still be friends. Amen. Motion to adjourn, please. Moved by and seconded by Josh. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Thank you so much for your kindness.